hearts race, and the crowd goes wild. All across the nation, the dirt track warriors duke it out for what matters the most: the trophy and the glory. This is Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises.
Welcome back to Gas and Glory. It's Kyle Luders and Neil Quick coming to you direct from the studios here at R&R Enterprises. This is the show, ladies and gentlemen, where we talk about what matters the most, the trophy and the glory. And Neil, it is now time for two of the greatest weeks. If you are a sprint car racing fan, during the entire calendar year, it is Knoxville 360 and 410 Nationals. Are you excited, or are you pulling your hair out trying to get all the shirts done?
Actually, both. I'm going to go with excited and going to pull my hair out.
Well, there's not much left.
I know. But, yeah, really super pumped. It's next 2 weeks is what we live for every year. I mean, it's Knoxville National time, and you got the kind of kickoff with that with the Ironman down there at Peevely. And guess what? I mean, you got other stuff going on that's just exciting that we prepared for, like the Belleville High Banks Midget Nationals, and you got the Chad McDaniel Memorial, and late models at Cedar Lake.
Late miles at Cedar Lake, the USA Nationals. Now, before we get into all the great racing coming up, we need to recap some of the racing action from this past weekend. Our boy Donnie Schatz goes back-to-back in the Great White North. That's Canada, for those of you who didn't catch the reference, with wins at Drummondville and Cornwall. Darren Pittman won at Fulton Speedway in New York before they went up north. But how about it? Donnie Schatz, back-to-back in Canada with wins at Drummondville and Cornwall. Man's on fire. He's got 11 wins.
So, yeah, I mean, he's coming alive again, but it's kind of a flip-flop we've been seeing all year long. I mean, Pittman had a couple wins there in a row before Donnie got those wins up in Canada. But this is the time. I mean, how convenient, Donnie getting two back-to-back wins up there in Canada just a couple weekends right here before. I mean, Knoxville National time. It's
the warm-up before, the stage that he just takes over, owns, and then everybody else is just left scratching their heads going, now how did he do that?
Yeah.
The Knoxville Nationals are Donnie Schatz's playground, figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
Man
absolutely.
is nearly unbeatable there in the past decade. When you look at the stat line, you see the first and the second place finishes. That's what a lot of people, I don't think, realize is that Donnie Schatz finished second in that race so many times.
I think I heard
before
something.
Finally winning it.
Well, I think I heard something like the city Chamber of Commerce is going to change that from Knoxville to Schattsville.
Schattsville?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Schattsville, Iowa.
Schattsville, Iowa. Neil Quick with the humor today, folks. I like it. I like it.
It only happens very rarely.
Rarely. Rico Abreu, another Team R&R driver, picks up his 14th win of the season at Huset's Speedway. Now, Huset's is not an easy track to win at. It takes a little while.
That's a wheelman track, man.
Based on the competition and the difficulty of the track, Huset's, I would say, in my travels, is the closest thing that I can find to Peevely.
Yeah, it is. It's very similar.
Because you are always elbows up.
Very fast. Very fast. It's got that, again, it's one of those tracks that are high banked. It seems like it's down a little bit in the ground, and them guys just flat get it around there.
Speaking of getting it around there, our good friend Ken Schrader.
Schrader!
Did you know that not only did he do an excellent job in the 1-800-CAR-CASH Mud Summer Classic, oh, by the way, where did he finish?
4th.
Bang, right there. We almost burnt down the shop.
Yeah, it was the truck race was kind of definitely a kickoff for last weekend's racing, and Schrader put on a show.
Schrader did put on a show, by the way. If you want to pick up one of his NASCAR Camping World Truck Series T-shirts from that event, we do have those available now over at www.r-rracewear.com.
They're starting to run pretty scary out there. I mean, they're starting to move pretty quick out there.
Oh, my gosh, dude. I've shipped probably 10 or 15 of them in the past couple of days.
Yeah, those are cool. And we would be shipping some Kyle Larson, I'm sure, too, if we had some.
That's a good idea. Give us a few weeks on that.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can come up with.
We'll get back to you.
We'll get back to you on that. Hold us to that.
My question is, are we going to put the truck on it before or after the race version?
I don't think, we have some amazingly talented artists here at R&R. I don't know if it's feasible from a time standpoint to accurately portray that truck after Kyle got done with it. It could take a while.
Let me ask you this question since we're talking about it.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a race car driver use up such a piece of equipment in a race trying to win a race?
Outside of the movie Days of Thunder, no.
No, it was very it was pretty good. It's very reminiscent of Days of Thunder. I mean, old boy had it wrapped around the wall and going.
No. He didn't have it wrapped around the wall. He was wearing the wall.
He was
on
the
that
wall.
truck. He was the wall, okay? I mean, when he went down low that one time and went for the lead, he slid her on up into the fence. And when he hit that thing, I wish we could have been there to hear the impact.
Well, maybe next year, I think maybe instead of running 150 laps the same direction, they could rotate it after 75 laps so he could use both sides of the truck.
Yeah, because the driver's side didn't look near as torn up.
Well,
Passenger side was gone.
He might have a better chance that way.
Passenger side was kind of used up, kind of like my rental car after I ramped it off that deer carcass. Anyway, moving right along. That's another story for another time.
Clear.
Just the good old boys. Anyway, Ken Schrader finished 10th in the USAC Silver Crown event with Tony Stewart Racing.
Hold on. He
Yep.
went to a truck race in Silver Crown.
Yep.
And he was in a midget a week before.
And then he did an ARCA race.
Boy. My boy Schrader.
Did you see that video? And this is to the folks listening and watching as well. We're on YouTube and iTunes. Did you get the chance to see that video they played before the truck race that showed Schrader's travel? I mean, it looked like just lines back and forth crisscrossing each other. It looked like
You know what it
a
looked like?
geometry teacher's worst nightmare.
Well, it looks like those things when you're a kid when it's got like draw a line dot to dot, but you don't know what you're doing, so you go from 1 to like 8, and then back to 2, and then
What
back
is
to
that
4.
thing called?
I don't know. I never could get the whatever shape they were trying to get you to draw. I never could figure it out. I think that actually haunts me still now today.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, Ken Schrader did really well there. 10th in the Silver Crown event. Finished 7th in the ARCA race the same weekend at Lucas Oil Raceway Park, which is a phenomenal facility up in Indianapolis. Speaking of Indianapolis, Kevin Swindell, good friend of ours as well, got another crack at the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Did well. He finished 23rd. And, you know, Neil, we were talking about this. He was running a Dodge Challenger. And nearest that we can tell, Dodge officially exited NASCAR at the end of the 2012 season. So we're not, disparaging anything. But what we're saying is Kevin Swindell took a car that was at least a couple years old, around IMS.
Yeah.
And did very well with it.
Well, I think Kevin got this crack with that JGL team this year for the idea and what he ran last year. I mean, he gave the car a good run last year that he was with. I think that was the Biaggi team, and fortunately for him, he got the call up this year with some relationships that he had from last year that carried over to this team, and pretty stoked to see him getting that JGL car and that Curb Records and John Christner Challenger trucking.
Yep.
Take that thing to the front, and he did get a lap down, and I think that a little bit was his downfall all day. He kept trying to get that lucky dog and get back out of there, but I think he had a 12 to 15 place car, and glad to see him get that good run, and it led over in the opportunity that he gets this weekend, getting to run the car again at Iowa.
You're going to get to run the car at the NASCAR Nationwide Series event in Iowa. Big weekend coming up for Iowa. The Knoxville 360 Nationals, Arnold Motor Supply, the title sponsor of that event, kicks off this week. And speaking of the Swindells and that event, some big news. Sammy Swindell has entered the Arnold Motor Supply Knoxville 360 Nationals. And, oh, by the way, I've got an interesting statistic for you.
What do you got?
Okay, on the 410 National side of things, Sammy Swindell, this will be his 40th year going to Knoxville. Amazing statistic. But do you know what year he was the Rookie of the Year for the 360 Nationals?
No, good question.
2010.
Really?
Yes. I was looking up some statistics for preparation for next week, and I found that. Sammy
Here, I got
Swindell.
a question for you. I don't know.
Okay.
360 Nationals, what was first year for it?
Oh.
Tick tock, tick tock.
I believe we are in the 24th annual
24th annual?
Arnold Motor Supply Knoxville 360 Nationals, which is a phenomenal event. ASCS and Knoxville Raceway do a great job with that. So we're looking forward to that. We have several Team R&R drivers like Sammy Swindell and more participating in that. So, it's a great way to kick off the Nationals. And then Sunday night up at Knoxville is the Capitani Classic, which is a relatively new event but has really grown in stature and has become an anchor of that Knoxville Nationals week because it gives all the traveling guys like the World of Outlaws guys one more crack at going to the Knoxville Raceway before the 410 Nationals. So, lots of great racing coming up, and you can't forget about the Front Row Challenge at Oskaloosa. Terry McCarl, McStallion, someone else we did some shirts for this year.
Dude, his shirts are off the hook. I seen him out there printing earlier, and I can't contain myself with the excitement that I'm seeing that of the new paint schemes for Knoxville and the new apparel that goes with it, and super stoked with some of the other things that are coming out from Musper out there.
Speaking of that, and we have the Knoxville Nationals coming up, and we are obviously, a T-shirt printer. We're doing several of the Knoxville Nationals jobs. Let's start, if you will. Share with us about 5 or 6 of them, and while you're doing that, we're going to toss them up here on the video screen so that folks can see them. So just give me about 5 or 6, Neil, that you're really looking forward to this year, and we'll pop them up for the folks to see.
Well, again, it starts early this year with the 360 Nationals. We've got guys that are going up there that are going to be starting running on Thursday of this week that have some really cool looking stuff. I know Brady Bacon, we did his new shirts, got a new paint scheme, great looking shirts. So race fans, be sure to run over to the trailer and grab them before they're gone.
If I remember right, when we did the video on it, I got tongue-tied just listing off all the different colors and styles it was available in.
It's really neat the way Ciciana and Brady do that shirt for Knoxville every year. It's available in a wide variety of colors, and she's really good with the women's garments. So ladies, be sure to get over there before they're gone.
You won't be modeling them, will you?
Not for a small fee. I mean, if somebody wants to throw some money, I'm sure we can. Plus a few drinks over at Dingus might happen.
Jeez. I knew I was walking into a hornet's nest with that one. But all right, continue on. Brady Bacon, new design. That one wasn't hot off the press. Great looking shirt, worthy of showing it again. Give me a few more.
Well, we got some cool hats and T-shirts being done that will be up there for ASCS National Points Leader, Brad Loyette. Really cool looking design, kind of clean looking design on a couple of colors. Be sure to get over to Brad's trailer and get those before they're gone. Great looking shirts. He's also got some new caps over there. Going to be working with them guys to see if we can do some more stuff for them. So kind of something new for us on the 360 side for Brad Loyette this year. Super stoked about that one.
McStallion, I heard you have a new shirt for McStallion.
Man, McStallion, same thing that goes with Brady Bacon. Vanderbrink Designs. Brett Vanderbrink does a great job with those paint schemes, and he's done an awesome looking paint scheme for Terry McCarl up there. And McStallion's got a shirt, and you're going to be able to see it from a long way away. So he's got some bright colors on that shirt and got some neat stuff for them. And be sure to get over to the trailer and talk to Lori and catch up with Terry and grab a T-shirt before they're gone. I know that's a good-looking one. Really, on our 410 side, there's so many cool-looking cars and paint schemes.
It's a who's who.
Oh, yeah. I mean, paint scheme-wise and shirt-wise, Donnie Schatz has got just a car that's unbelievable looking.
The chrome one for the 60 years of STP.
It's a chrome looking car, very, very unique paint scheme, kind of throwback to the gold type of cars that they ran for the 50th deal, which were beautiful. They've outdone themselves this year with this paint scheme, so it's great looking. We've got that looking great look paint scheme from Donnie. We've got a great looking silver metallic car that Paul McMahon's running. Just did his shirts. These things should fly off the shelf. Jan will have those with the Saldana trailer with Joey Saldana. And speaking of Joey, Joey's got a special paint scheme. So a lot of the guys have done their homework this year, and the fans should reap the rewards of having some cool-looking apparel coming out of Knoxville.
When you go up to Knoxville, folks, and you're at the T-shirt trailers, there's one thing that we liked for you to do while you're there. We want you to ask for the R&R Racewear stuff. And we can guarantee you're going to get a top-notch product, high-quality Gildan shirts or whatever they're printed on. I mean, we use the best of the best. And the print you're going to see between our new direct-to-screen machine, our M&R presses, you're going to see quality that is just going to blow you away. It's going to stand up to the test of time. And, not to mention, the artist team at R&R just knocks it out of the park every single time. You get a great-looking shirt and high quality at a great price. Neil, you just can't beat it.
Well, it's a great deal, and the team, again, we've got here, can't give them enough credit. R&R guys in the art room and the production facility does a great job being able to turn them around, get them to the girls on the trailers. But a lot of respect and a lot of admiration goes to the drivers on the teams and the wives that put this together. This is a lot of their ideas and paint schemes that go into this. So fans, be sure to support those guys. Get to the trailer, pick up the merchandise, and not only on the apparel side. There's a lot of novelty items. There's some very trick, add-on type items like your can koozies, your decals, stuff that's only available at Knoxville. And the big one this year, Diecast is back.
Diecast is back. There'll be Diecast cars up at Knoxville. Is that right?
Yeah. Super poked.
You're super poked?
Super poked. Super pumped. We've got on the 164 side of Diecast cars this year, the Brady Bacon non-wing USAC Hoffman car, the legendary 69 car. Brady and Ciciano have them on the trailer, and Paul McMahon's got the new 51 CJB 2014, and Joey's got both scales, the big cars and the little cars. Of course, World Outlaw champion from last year, Darren Pittman, got the
That's a pretty good-looking car.
Good-looking car.
Turned it really well.
2014 Great Clips car. Get those before they're gone. And then, of course, the big game #1 car, 40th year for Sammy to be up there this year.
You can't miss out on that car, folks. 40 years of going to Knoxville. Neil, you're not even 40.
No, he's been doing it longer than I've been around, and
that is saying something.
That definitely is saying something. So, no. Also, just to cap it off, guys. Be sure to swing over to and check out some of the new Kyle Larson, Rico Abreu, and Shane Stewart. Got some real cool stuff over there. I think Shane and Rico will be set up over in the Dingus parking lot, and of course we've got the cool looking 4th decade shirt to cap off Jack Hoddenshield's 4 decades of racing.
That's been a very exciting series that we've gotten the chance to work with Patty and Jack on, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
you can really tell that this series has resonated very well with the fans, and they have enjoyed to see it. And frankly, we've enjoyed putting it together from a sales, an artistic, a printing, and a marketing standpoint, because there is so much history, there is so much tradition with that man's entire career. But like on the 3rd decade shirt, everybody was asking, when are we going to see the Pennzoil 22 car? It's on the 3rd decade shirt. Tell us about some of the cars that are on the 4th decade shirt.
The 4th decade shirt caps off the most recent decade in Jack's career, and
that's normally how it goes.
And honestly, it's got some of the newer cars. Of course, his 9 Destiny car he's driving this year. The legendary R19 Pink Panther car.
Oh, the Carnahan Motorsports.
The Carnahan Motorsports car. That was a neat car. It's got the 83 Beef Packers car on it. Good looking ride that he had. Also, the 35 Wright 1 Construction Rick Wright car. The 6M car that he drove for Jamie over in Ohio over there in the All-Star Series a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's about 7 or 8 cars on it. Really a neat looking design. Again, we've kind of kept with the decades of the shirts, trying to keep the designs from those decades. Like this 4th decade shirt will have those cars on it, but it'll have more of a modern looking, more recent design to it. So definitely for any fan of the Wild Child, this is your chance to get the 4th one to cap it off, and be sure to get over there and grab one from Patty before they're gone.
And those things have been moving very quickly. We've sold an awful lot of them out of our website, www.r-racewear.com. And Neil, Knoxville, we say it every year, Knoxville's like our Christmas season around here. It's a huge mad rush to get out the door. This year, I have to say, really being in the new facility, we've really figured out the kinks on it. And, we're operating, going like crazy. But once we get up there, and we're going to have myself, I'll be up there, you'll be up there, or another salesman, Ryan Ruff, will be up there. When we get up there, at least for you and Ryan, you guys will get to be race fans.
Yes.
So what I want to know is, Knoxville Nationals are coming up. Who to watch, what to watch for, and just give me what's your take? Give me 5 guys to watch for in the 410 Nationals. Give me 5.
I think that this, you of course you got at the top of the board. You can't. Donnie Schatz. Okay.
That's all that needs to be said.
Donnie Schatz. Schattsville was very impressive last year, coming from the spot, starting 21st, coming to the front.
And coming through the B.
Coming through the B to get there, yes. And can't outdo what he did basically last year, I don't think. We might see that happen this year. Yeah, knock on wood. But that being said, you got to look at the guy that he passed last year, coming from the back to the front, Brian Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do.
Brian Brown is definitely one of those 5 guys that definitely to watch for up there. Not necessarily a wild card pick or a dark horse pick on this, but somebody that's always strong up there, and to look for something to happen and start to come together on something. I got to take Shane Stewart.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Now he has won numerous 360 Nationals titles in a row. I think the number's at 4.
Yeah, and I was kind of shocked to see that he's not in the 360s this year.
That's where I was going to with it. He'll be down here with the Outlaws at I-55 in lieu of defending his 360 Nationals titles. But he has owned the Arnold Motor Supply Knoxville 360 Nationals for the past however many years. But That's interesting that you say that, because I remember in 2011 when Shane Stewart marched through the field, just marched through the field. And, that was my first year doing the PR work for the Outlaws. I was sitting there going, in another 5 or 10 laps, he was probably going to pass Donnie for the victory in that one. And then, Shane is just so good at Knoxville. So good at Knoxville. So didn't mean to interrupt you, but continue on here.
No, leading on after Shane on this deal, I would probably say that my next person to watch would be Darren Pittman. Darren Pittman seems to have it figured out lately.
He charged up. He was the hard charger in his qualifying night A main last year. Came from, I think, all the way in the back to come up to, I think, he cracked the top 10 if memory serves me correct. But that 9 car was on rails, yes.
And after that, there's about a handful of guys for that 5th top 5 deal in my ideas of who could put it up there. I mean, you got the locals like Terry McCarroll, and we've seen Craig Delansky run good up there.
Yep.
There's a couple guys that can definitely do it, and can't rule out like guys like Mark Dobmeyer and Lundstrom Motorsports. I mean, this is a strong team.
Very strong team.
They've won a qualifying night up there. Those type of guys are definitely going to be guys that are going to contend, and really it's going to be interesting to see if Mr. Swindell has figured out the last couple weeks being up there trying and experimenting with some stuff, see how he comes out at the 410 Nationals, even running the 360s this week. So going to be interesting.
I agree with your list. I wholeheartedly agree, but I have 2 dark horse picks.
Okay.
First one will be Justin Henderson in the number 1 BDS Motorsports machine. He's been on a rocket in both the 360 and the 410 divisions at Knoxville. He's run all the races in both divisions this year. He's looked very good. My second one, and if I'm really picking a dark horse and someone I think can win the Nationals, Kevin Swindell in the Indy Race Parts entry.
You got it.
Look at what he did last year in that car.
Yes, and I think that Kevin running the 360s this week and that team being together, I think Kevin had a few opportunities to be somewhere else and drive different cars this year in the Sprint Car Series, and he chose to stay with the 71 and Bernie in that deal. And I think it's the right choice, and not to count him out of the top 5, but it's just one of those deals that there are a lot of good picks, and you could take 20 picks that can win this thing, which makes it fun. But to have a guy that puts it all together and a team to put it together to beat the Schatz deal is going to be, again, a tough road.
Kevin Swindell last year in the 71S car finished 20th. That finish not necessarily indicative of how strong that car was. And then I remember up...
he was running 3rd and 4th through the race.
Exactly is what I'm saying. He was up there near the front. A few other guys. Kyle Larson was 6th last year. Dusty Zomer, Knoxville regular, he finished 11th. Brad Sweet was up there as well, too. So you've got several guys to pick from when it comes to the Knoxville Nationals. But those
again, you can't rule out some of these. I wouldn't say last-minute put-togethers, but you've got guys like Jason Myers in the 83 car, Christopher Bell. I believe this is Christopher's first Knoxville Nationals.
Christopher will be up for Knoxville Nationals Rookie of the Year, yes.
Okay, yep. So definitely some exciting things to watch and see how it develops, and that's what we're there for. We're race fans.
We are race fans, and get the lucky privilege of being a part of the event as well too, through our various associations. But before we get to that weekend, we've got a pretty exciting weekend coming up here, as the World of Outlaws STP Sprint Car Series is literally trucking, southwest out of Canada to get down here to Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 for the annual Ironman 55.
Thank God they're leaving Canada. Now I can communicate besides smoke signals and flare guns.
Canada is always interesting for you on the merchandise side, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Love customs. Need more of that. Not.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Neil Quick. You can find him in Arnold, Missouri.
Thanks.
Feds. Yeah. But yeah, the Ironman 55 really has become an event that's, I think, a marquee event on the World of Outlaws schedule. Moves back to a 2-day show. Mm-hmm. So we have the prelude to the Ironman on Friday night, and then the actual Ironman 55 on Saturday night. Craig Delansky, the winner of the Ironman 55 last year.
And the year before. And the year before that.
And the year before that.
So we're going to have a new winner.
That's what we're hearing right now.
Okay.
That's what we're hearing right now. You of course you never know who's going to actually be at the race until they show up in the pits. So we'll have to see.
I think I'm going to wheel one this time. I think I'm going to get on the phone and have a car show up.
You're going to have a car. Oh gosh. Can I be the crew chief?
No.
Please.
No, I'm out.
I've got a wicked setup for Peevely based on the old World of Outlaws PlayStation 2 game.
Closest thing to four
That
wheels.
left front wheel never touched the ground if you let me set the car up.
PlayStation 3?
2.
2, okay.
Yeah, PlayStation 2. I promise you that left front wheel will never touch the ground. Should be bad fast.
I think they're on PlayStation 4, so this is really starting to show your age, Kyle.
Hey, I will set it up the way Carl Kenzer set it up, okay? You're not going to be very good for the first 20 laps, but I tell you what, that last 35 laps, you're going to be gold.
Oh, boy.
I got her set up for you, baby. But anyway, the Outlaws are coming to I-55 this weekend. Give me 2 or 3 guys that you're looking for at the Ironman.
You know, the Ironman and Peevely, it is interesting if Delansky doesn't defend and show up for the race, because it kind of opens it wide open for another winner. Jason Myers has been strong there. Jason Myers is not there. Mm-hmm. So the question is I think it's going to be a deal that the guys that have been flip-flopping.
Sammy Swindell, the spring winner at I-55, also won't be there.
I was about to go there, but again, you got the flip-flop between Pittman and Schatz lately, and you definitely still have Paulie, and you got Joey. Joey needs a rebound, and this would be a great race for Joey to put something together to get back up there.
I was watching the highlights from the spring race a couple days ago. I'm going to say that Joey Saldana's at the top of my list for this one. Joey was very strong there in the spring. And quite frankly, this is his kind of track. It's a hustle track.
It is. It's a Joey Saldana elbows up, high-speed track that definitely they work themselves into lap traffic, so you got to be in and out, and things happen really fast at Peevely. And I think this is a chance for Joey to get a little bit of back on track. I mean, his quick times, he's been phenomenal in qualifying, and when it comes to race time, it's kind of like he's had a parachute on the back of that thing. Yeah. And unfortunately, don't know what the situation is, but I know they're working hard, and it'll be a situation where Joey will get this turned around and ride it again.
I used to say on the 19 car when we'd have nights like that, I said instead of hitting the switch to pull the wing back, you hit the switch that shot the anchor out the back of the car that dug into the track.
Well, this was primarily when you were working on that team, right?
Hey, I'm going to just tell you what, the tires were immaculately prepared while I was working on that car. Nothing ever flew off that car.
I've heard that's the first time they've ever seen a sprint car have stagger in the reverse side.
No comment. Moving right along, the Arnold Motor Supply Knoxville 360 Nationals coming up, as well as we mentioned it earlier before, the USA Nationals at Cedar Lake Speedway for the late models. Boy Billy Moyer will be up there.
Yes.
I think he'll be pretty tough. One thing I want to get to before we get to our favorite segment of the show here is talk about the dance that we're going to do from R&R out to the teams, getting all this great, wonderful, amazing Knoxville Nationals apparel and merchandise to them, because it is quite the deal. Like, if folks have never been here to see it, it's literally like watching a mass exodus of white Gildan boxes leave this place.
It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work for the guys in the production area and the art staff and everybody in the building. This time of the year, you always try to prepare to be on the right side and ahead of time of making things happen. And the racing business, a lot of things happen last minute, and you get sponsor opportunities and paint schemes change, and it seems like you're putting the things together at the last minute to make things happen. And I think that's where our company really excels, and we've been good at that. So, but it's really neat to see. I think sometimes you could put a 2 to 3 week reality show on here, definitely around Knoxville time, and it would get some entertaining ratings, that's for sure.
And you use a bleeper button a lot, I think.
Yeah, I can't say anything about that.
Moving right along, folks, it is now time for our favorite part of the show. It's time for Squeal or No Squeal. Each and every week, Squeal and Neil Quick and I get 3 racing-related questions that we debate, and if we agree with what the question says, it's a squeal. If we don't agree, it's a no squeal. Are you ready for this one? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ever ready for Squeal or No Squeal?
No, not ready.
All right. Well, you got question number 1, so you better hurry. Oh, and I left the guitar at home this week.
Yes.
It's coming back now.
No.
All right, question 1.
All right. The Ironman 55, is it truly the toughest physical race on the World of Outlaw circus?
I'm going to go squeal on that one.
Really?
When you factor in how fast they go around Peevely,
Yep.
and you factor in the heat and the humidity, which we will proudly be sweating in side by side this weekend. 55 laps around any racetrack in a World of Outlaws car is demanding. It's one of the longest races of the season, if not the longest. I can't think of anywhere else that they run that many laps. They run 50 at Knoxville, but they get a break halfway through. You're talking 55 laps at Peevely. And, if you don't get a red, you're running that straight through. That's tough.
I think I have to agree with you, especially this time of the year that they run this in. It's like being in a hot box or a sauna. This thing, you guys put these
on
guys...
steroids.
Yeah, it is. And again, for you fans that haven't been to Peevely, you're talking about the idea of sprint cars moving as fast as they do around this place at a high bank track. It is that jet fighter and gymnasium type of phrase that we hear all the time. A lot of things happen very fast around that place, and we've seen it happen before. A guy crashes in 1 and 2 and you're in 3 and 4 and somehow you're in it. How does that happen?
Just a quick reference, folks, if you've never been to I-55, the track record there is 10.189 seconds, and they flirt with that all the time. But moving right along to question number 2, we'll give you a little bit of background on this. During one of I believe, yes, it was during the post-race press conference after the 1-800-CAR-CASH Mud Summer Classic, Tony Stewart and General Manager Roger Slack were up on the up on the row answering questions from the media, and they were talking about adding a nationwide or a Sprint Cup race someday. And Roger and Tony look at each other. They say, can we tell them about the dome? Supposedly, Eldora has looked into the feasibility of adding a dome on top of the racetrack, and it would cost $25 million. So, squeal or no squeal, will Tony Stewart ever raise the $25 million needed to put a dome over Eldora?
Let me start with why.
That was not the question.
Well, why would
Answer the question.
Why would you put a dome on Eldora?
Because it's a dirt track, and if it rains, you've got a big problem. You can't just dry the track.
All right, so you postpone it to the next day.
What if it rains the next day?
Well, same thing that happens in NASCAR. You just postpone it until it dries.
Yeah, but you can't dry the track, Neil. You have to wait for Mother Nature to dry the track.
All right. Will Tony Stewart ever raise the $25 million? I'm sure he'll raise the $25 million. To put a dome over Eldora? I'm not so sure.
I'm going to go with a squeal on that. I think you got to admit, that would be just a sight to behold.
Yeah,
it'd be over Eldora.
It'd be an impressive feat to see a dome over a half-mile dirt track, yes.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
You know how dirty it would be inside there?
I got a broom. It's okay. Moving on to question number 3.
I guess we like dirt racing.
We do.
Dirt's good.
Dirt is good.
You sell some more Got Dirt shirts.
Yeah. I think you're going to like question number 3, though.
Will Neil pull his hair out by the time Knoxville is over?
Squeal!
I think it's already gone.
Was that why you're wearing the hat today?
Yeah, absolutely. Can't get to it that way. No, it's every year it's the crazy type of juggling act that we pull to make sure everything gets done. But every year I have less and less hair to pull out. So I would say definitely a squeal on that one.
Well, we hope that you get to have a little bit of fun this weekend at Peevely, the Ironman. Unconfirmed sources tell me that Club R&R will be there, and that is all we are going to say about that.
Oh, that's all we can say?
That's all we can say.
All the race fans, come down to Club R&R. Kyle will be more than glad to hook them up.
That's our time this week, folks. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to Gas and Glory. And remember, you can pick up...
Hold on a second.
Oh, no.
Any fan that comes down to do the Kyle Lueders impersonation at Club R&R, we will give them free an R&R Racewear shirt and make sure that they are recognized. See us there.
There's nothing more you can say after that. Thanks for listening to our show, folks. Check out www.r-rracewear.com. And on behalf of everyone here at R&R Enterprises, he's Neil Quick and I'm Kyle Lueders. Bring your best impersonations and we'll see you at Peevely.
Go Schrader.
You've been listening to Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises. All rights reserved. Please visit the web's largest sprint car store today at www.r-rracewear.com. The views and opinions expressed in the show are the host and guest alone and do not directly reflect those of R&R Enterprises.